Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Red for Anfield Index. It's Sunday, the 29th of December. It's in that weird period, isn't it, between Christmas, New Year, you're not at work, you don't really know what it is. Might have had a chocolate orange for breakfast like I did, but who gives a shit, to be honest, because the Reds are top of the league. They are 6 points clear. They do play at 5:15 today. Weird kickoff time, that, isn't it? I mean, Super Sunday, but who gives a stuff anyway? 5:15 today at the London Stadium against West Ham away, where hopefully the likes of Danny Dyer, Ray Winston, James Corden, a big fat pussy, both on screen and off screen, will be crying their eyes out today as Liverpool absolutely batter West Ham. Fingers crossed on that, ladies and gents. I'm your host, Dave Davis, coming to you from... Now, there's a bit of sun coming in, but don't let that lie to you, because it's freezing here in Edinburgh, and it's got that wind, so you're kind of walking sideways a bit like an Egyptian as you're going through town. But we're all in a good mood, because let's be honest, West Ham, we are hopeful for this one, and we're hopeful mainly because let's get it on screens. It's a beautiful thing to look at. We've got to, have a good look at this, people. Let's not pretend at all it's not a thing of beauty. The Premier League table. Liverpool, as it sits there, top of the league, 17 played, 42 points, ahead of Arsenal, who, according to Arsenal fans, if you look on Twitter today, X, Blue Sky, whatever you look, you know what I mean, etc., are injury ravaged, worn, torn, currently going through a potato famine, currently going through scurvy, currently going through Ebola in the camp, if certain accounts are to be believed. Liverpool are getting all the luck, aren't they, apparently? So to be 6 points behind, according to Arsenal Twitter, despite being injury ravaged and war torn, it is something different. But do you know what? Liverpool is 6 points clear with a game in hand, and they are playing West Ham, as we said, at 5:15 today. It's an interesting one. I think people will be thinking about team news already. We've not really got too much clues. All we know at this current moment in time is that Konate and Bradley have not made the squad. We know that for definite. They are not with this Liverpool team. We also know that Luis Diaz didn't play a single minute. Dominic against Leicester in the last one. Dominic Szoboszlai is suspended. There's quite a few walking a disciplinary tightrope, isn't there, ahead of United at the same time? Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez, Ryan Gravenberch, if they are booked, would miss that United game. So fingers crossed for that. But it's all about today and hopefully winning and going 9 points clear. I mean, that's an incredible thing to say, isn't it? 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Be absolutely insane. Team for me, I could be wildly wrong. You will have your suspicions. I think largely it picks itself, people. I do think it will be. It's Alisson in net. It's Trent at right back. It's Virgil at centre back with Gomez. Left back. I think it's going to be Kostas Tsimikas. I genuinely do. Kostas Tsimikas at left back, because the scene of the crime, I have to say, Robbo, isn't it? I'm trying to think of a better way of putting it, but a few have used that phrase recently. He's at the scene of the crime when we concede quite a few goals, isn't he? So you'd probably think he would be one to be rested. And as a few people have said, we usually see the best Robbo when he gets a bit of rotation. So for me, Tsimikas there. The midfield pretty much picks itself. For me, it's the same three. Szoboszlai, if he hadn't got an annoying yellow card that he got against Leicester, the obvious one to come in, but he did. So it's the same. And I know people will say, Harvey Elliott there, this is his chance. I don't want to see on a huge pitch away at West Ham, Harvey Elliott and Alexis McAllister. That's a lot of piano carrying for Ryan Gravenberch to be doing too much for me, in all honesty. So I'm not Not a fan of that at all. And then the forward line, this is probably the most interesting one for people. Salah's obvious. Diaz, you'd think, would have to go back on the left-hand side, surely. Completely rested. And then in the middle, well, Diogo Jota would be the one for me. West Ham just feels, I don't know what this means even, but like a Diogo Jota game. And I know people will be screaming, Cody Gakpo's been brilliant. And yes, Cody Gakpo has been sensational recently, but a fresh and firing front line for me of Salah, Diaz, and Jota in the middle gears up for United at the same time as well. So that would be my lineup for today. Feel free to chuck yours in, disagree, as I'm sure many will, in the comments. Feel free to throw up a like on YouTube, a subscription as well. Morning to Owar there from Heathrow Airport. Look, no, sure is close there, mate. Fingers crossed you get away at some time in the new year. It'd be nice to live next to an airport, get off a holiday, wouldn't it? But yeah, shout out to whoever's watching, whoever's listening at the same time as well. But let's talk Liverpool news. We know this is the game. We know the focus is around this. So what are the latest headlines coming out and about? Rather than sort of delving too far away, I actually just want to share a little bit and stat me up that we did yesterday. And a shout out to Barts, because I always think, and think Liverpool have learned this, if you've got nerds, use them. That's what they're there for, in all honesty, isn't it? Get that insight, get their input. So he called out a few things, to be fair, around West Ham. And I wasn't aware of this. I know West Ham, I looked at the defence, I looked at the surface level stats, and you think they've shipped 30 goals, which is a lot this season. There's a couple of things that Barts did call out, though. They should have actually shipped 36. As he put it, they're running hot. But he actually said something else. So let's just play a little bit about West Ham and the shots they concede. Let's have a little listen to this bit.
If you look at F-Brief, if we go to there, though, why is that happening for West Ham? And some of the things, if you click on the Against the Team tab, and you look down here about the shots they concede, right? So that's the number of shots they concede a game. So jeez. Apart from Leicester away, which they won, they have conceded 18, 19, 18, 18, 14, 19, 29, jeez. 12 and 18 shots against in a game. Now, the last time out, they conceded 18 shots against Southampton. I'm not entirely sure how that's possible. We put our academy, we put a scratch side out against them and beat them. I'm not sure how that's possible. The people we played the other Leicester, they conceded 8-2. Okay, fair enough. The other one, the last side they played that was, I would say, are having a very good season, Bournemouth, they conceded 29 shots to.
Jeez.
That's
West Ham give up a lot of shots. I mean, Southampton, I'm not even convinced Southampton have had 20 shots all season. You know, never mind that many in one game. So you see that. I mean, 29 shots they gave up to Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth are having a flying season. This isn't being derogatory about Bournemouth at all. You just look at those numbers on the screen there, and Bart's walked it through. It was a good segment, and call it blow my own trumpet, who cares? Have a listen to it. I think for me, it kind of broke it down. It gave me the insight, the analysis as well. West Ham give up a lot of shots. They're giving up a lot of shots at the moment. They're without Kilman, it looks like, today, one of their main central defenders. Fabianski, he looks like he's out as well. And yeah, Aussie, kind of stealing my line there, Aussie Wombat. If they give us 29 shots, how many will we score? That was my thinking as well. You know, please, if West Ham do want to do a Spurs, you know, when they go blow for blow, all right, we won't be happy to concede 3, but if we score 6, do you know what? If West Ham want to play that against Liverpool, all the best, because I guarantee you, James Corden will be sat in the corner, sweating gravy, crying tears of like into the boat, basically. So, yeah, honestly, please give us 29 shots. West Ham give up shots. We'll see. These might be famous last words, but we'll see what happens today. AC/DC ruining the mood there, saying, I think we will lose. I hope we win, but strange feeling after people. contracts, I get all that type of thing. And I know it's been the Trent news. It's not on the docket, let me be honest today, because it's all stories. It's Marta. No one really knows ultimately what's happening. And do you know what? The Reds are playing today. That's what it's about. It's a chance to go 9 points clear. Contract stuff, not for today, eh? Maybe, and this isn't saying dismiss it completely, but where's your focus? It's on the match for me. Simple as that. And this man, people thinking Marco van Basten. No, not Marco van Basten, Arne Slot. But the reason I wanted to talk about Marco van Basten, a legend of the game, Dutchman, sharp finisher, sharp tongue at the same time. No two ways about it. Never shy of criticising, I think it's fair to say. And listen, Marco van Basten, an unbelievable, one of the greatest goals ever scored, etc. You know, his record, his prestige, his gravitas speaks for itself. He's not often very complimentary. That's not a dig at him. It's just his nature, isn't it? However, one person that he is uber positive about is Arne Slot. So just a few comments about what he said here from AI. So I've met him and talked football with Slot a number of times now. Tactically, he is brilliant. I have rarely been so impressed by a coach. And trust me, Van Basten has criticised a lot of coaches, a lot of players in his time as well. That's not a dig at Van Basten. That's just the nature of how he operates. But the way he communicates his football ideas and gets his players to play in exactly that way is really impressive. Everything about him is calm because he is mega intelligent. I mean, let's be honest, that's massive praise from a massive name. And even this bit, I won't give it you all, but just the bits you really want to call out. Superstars or top players have strong characters and they can be difficult. But Slot is so smart, he can steer them all in the direction where he wants them to go. I think it's actually starting to dawn on people that we do have an elite coach. I genuinely mean that, an absolute elite, mega intelligent, to use a Marco van Basten phrase there, coach in our dugout. We are absolutely blessed to have Arne Slot at the moment. No two ways about it. What made me laugh, and I don't know if anyone caught this at all yesterday, Rio Ferdinand. And when Rio Ferdinand says something, most people will usually laugh because of what comes out of Rio Ferdinand's mouth. I get that. But saying that Enzo Maresca is the coach of the year, not Arne Slot. And arguing part of that was because of what Enzo Maresca has had to do, which I was thinking, okay, deal with £1.2 billion of players, send players who are loyal to train at a leisure centre, ship a lot of goals, not have to replace a legend. But do you know what? It's all opinions, I suppose. But I think it's important to say when we talk about our manager, our head coach, we are absolutely blessed to have Arne Slot at the club at the moment. So, yeah, so much to be happy about. And not just top of every league, but the way we're playing, the manager, we could go on and on. But we'll get into more stories for you as well. Fede, Chiesa, this is an interesting one. There's quite a bit of chat around Chiesa, and this was in an article that's out on Anfield Index. Quite a few links back to Italy, hasn't there? And we want to be honest about this because we'd heard, and we mentioned it on the transfer show that me and Trevor had done. We had heard that Chiesa wasn't settling well, that his other half wasn't exactly ecstatic with life on Merseyside. And there's been a lot of rumours, hasn't there, about Napoli are the latest. Atalanta have been linked with a move to take a lot of suggestion it was on loan. And this bit that in the article, frustrations mount over his limited opportunities under Arne Slot. There's a couple of things to this. It wouldn't surprise you at all if Chiesa hasn't quite settled on Merseyside. I don't think that would be a big shock or a big headline-grabbing thing by any means. The second thing is, when you talk about opportunities, Chiesa's been ill 3 separate times. Ill. That's crazy in a way, isn't it, for such a short period? And Slot's talked about his struggle to get in the intensity pre-season, all these types of things. So it's not that he's had limited opportunities, it's that he's had limited availability. That's the phrase, isn't it? Not limited opportunities, limited availability. That's the key thing for me around Chiesa. So when people talk about, there's that bit I don't buy at all. Also, I know people say, could we look at moving someone? Could it be Cherky, etc.? I just don't see it. I know it was £10 million, wasn't it? So it was a low risk move. The smart transaction, if he does want to go, or the smart business, if that makes sense, is keep him around. Say you'll get your chances in January and later in the season. And obviously, if we win the league and big trophies and you want to go, you go with our blessing because we're 10 million. So, we'll get that money back. But here's just some things to think about with Chiesa coming up in the near future. Not impossible he gets minutes in this one today. Look at January, though. There's a few games you'd look and think, do you know what, Chiesa, for United. But League Cup semi, I'd have him as a nailed-on starter for me straight away. If he can go back-to-back, Accrington Stanley, great chance to get minutes. Probably not for those two, but, the two Champions League, because those are almost dead rubbers for us now, aren't they? Lille at home, PSV away. And even, just being honest, not trying to upset any Ipswich fans, but look at those 3 in a week. I mean, that could be a great little period for Chiesa to get a run even and just give Salah a rest at times. So if you honestly look at January, you're probably thinking there's realistically, and I mean realistically, a chance where Chiesa could start about 5 games, really give Mo Salah a rest as well. So, and it not just Mo Salah, I know he can play other positions, but yeah, for me, I think in terms of what Liverpool will be looking at with Chiesa, that will be in their mind, in their thinking, no, stay around, do the job. If you do then want to go back at the end of the season, when we've won the biggest pots, when we've won the biggest prizes, then you go with our blessing. But I just can't see, despite all the chat with Chiesa, him being allowed or anything granted for him to disappear anytime soon. So it's really the only type of thing we can say around January. I mean, Endo, Morton, all the suggestions are there staying. It doesn't look like Liverpool are active. I know it's around contracts that everyone's focused on. There is no further update. And also, people, I mentioned it before, we're not going to sort of bring in every single Marca Spanish headlines that's trying to disrupt. When we hear anything from our side, we will tell you straight away. And we'll do content there. Interesting question there. What if we play Chiesa in places of Bosley today, considering the open spaces and the power and pace he possesses? Just can't see it. Not really I don't think Chiesa is a midfielder or an attacking midfielder. I don't think Slot sees him that way. Could be wrong. I think he sees him more on the right-hand side or potentially able to play the 9. He's done that before. He came on against Brentford, didn't he, in that position as well? So that's possible. But in the attacking midfielder, especially the way West Ham play, because not the most attractive and they like to clog a few, don't they? So I just can't see it. But I could be wrong. We'll see if anything does develop with Chiesa. Anything else to call out for you? More just the AI content, ladies and gents, because I know you'll have busy days. I know there's a lot going on today as well. So in terms of recent shows that are out for you, if we have a look at recent videos that are produced, naturally you got me and Bart's. If you missed Stat Me Up at all to take you through, AI is still there at the same time as well. Also, look at the feast for the eyes you've got today. Honestly, I mean, it's just like it's an ovulation package. It really is. You've got the watch along with young Jack today. So he'll be doing that for the West Ham game. Afterwards, you've got the Gags Tandem show as well. You'll also have the boys doing Raw as normal. So you have got content galore coming out your ears. At the same time, Tomorrow you'll have Media Matters, Daily Red back with Dave, etc. So there is plenty. But more importantly, it's all about 5:15 today. And then you have a scan and think, rivals doing is there anything? There are no fucking rivals. There's none. The 130ers in the mud. God knows what they'll do. I mean, Leicester are terrible, but you actually wouldn't bet against Leicester. You know, there's nothing there. If you even look at people who could potentially do, I mean, if Ipswich could do us a favour against Chelsea, not that we need it, there's that Arsenal. You've got to wait till New Year's and Brentford. So this is just all about us today. 5:15. It is a massive game. And just in case anyone missed it and came on a bit late, as we said, we know the likes of Souček's out suspended. We know that Rodriguez is out suspended. So without a few midfielders, annoyingly, Paqueta's back. That's probably the only downside you could really make. But we fully suspect Max Kilman, because he was taken off, Fabianski taken off. So we're expecting them to be without those two players as well. So in that sense, yes, we are missing Szoboszlai. Yes, Konate's not back. Bradley's not back. But everything really, form, all these bits, favour Liverpool. As Bart's told you, these boys gave up 19 shots to Southampton. Yeah, you've got to back us to get goals today. We'll see how it develops. And it could be famous last words. But with this ahead of the game, I do want to end with a prediction. So feel free to chuck yours in. I'm intrigued to see what we're feeling because AC/DC, who've been trying to ruin the mood, say you had a bad feeling about it today. There we go. They're starting to come in. Look at that. Brett Young, good lad, Brett. 4-0. What an erotic Sunday that would make it, 4-0. For me, I can't get 3-1 out my head. So I'm going to go 3-1. Harley there saying 3-0. 3-0 be even better. But I just think West Ham, either Bowen or Kudus is going to blam one in just because that's the nature of West Ham. But I reckon at one stage, they will give us a soft goal. I mean that. A really poor, soft goal will be coming our way because that's usually what West Ham do. Look at this, flying in. I don't know if everyone's still pissed from Christmas, to be honest. 5-0. John P. Sai goes 2-0. Fair play, Brett. Yeah, you just win the 3 points. And the final bit I do want to finish on is it's a beautiful thing to look at, isn't it? There we are, top and all this. We are in the grind, people. This is that time of the year for football where it is just the grind. It's just about win. 3 points, win, no injuries. That's what you're after. And you say, I know people will say, oh, it's West Ham should make a statement performance and all this, blah, blah, blah. Look at all the others. Look at how the injuries are racking up for other teams. Look at how Arsenal were playing for a 1-0 against Ipswich at home. Genuinely, if anyone watched that, it's the mentality. It's just about win, no injuries. It's the grind at the moment. If you keep doing that, more importantly, it doesn't always have to be pretty, but it breaks the spirit of everyone else. And if you can keep doing that and just keep racking up these points, it's a beautiful thing and it will break the spirit of others. And also, the other thing, I'm lying now already because I said no 3 points, no injuries. No yellow cards for certain people, because let's be honest, you do want Gravenberch to be available for United after this as well. So let's hope Gakpo as well. He's the other one, isn't he, that doesn't get a yellow. So that being greedy, but who cares? Please, baby Jesus, if you're listening, that is what we are after. But there you go, ladies and gents. Sunday, the 29th of December at 5:15 in just over 4 hours' time, Liverpool will play at the London Stadium, West Ham. We are hoping for 3 points, no injuries, no yellow cards for those who were nearly suspended as well. And for my final time in 2024, that was the Daily Red. for Anfield Index.